after the break to have a chat about our first matchup. We'll see you then. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Who it is on here? It's Jess, and it's quite the contrast in hairlines, but here we are regardless. You'll see
a five head though.
That's very true. That is, I think we all compensate for one another, like beard over here, no hair over there, lots of hair, five head over there. Honestly, just can't wait for the next episode of Friendly Fire to come out, because I think some interesting things have been said between all of us and a few of our colleagues too. Let's chat about Guts versus Cyclops, and I preface this with being the game that really determines who is number one in Japanese teams, not just in Japan League, but also in APAC North. It's a big deal for a lot of people out there, big bragging rights between them. So let's just talk about the teams directly, starting off with Guts Gaming. Right now, still middle of the pack, trying to find their clear spot, as Cyclops tends to be ahead of the pack. Let's take a look at that Guts roster, and we could chat about them. What's the download?
There's probably a few different storylines here, but the one that I really want to hammer away is that they are a middle pack team consistently. We say this about teams a lot, that they just tend to meddle in the middle of the leaderboard and they don't really go anywhere else. Guts has a really good opportunity now that Giants is out of the way to come storming through and make it really, really big on the leaderboard. Now that maybe the opponents are a little bit more readily understandable for them, they know what to expect given what happened last year. My worry is that CAG really has stepped up, and this is going to be a formidable opponent for them, because I have in my notes here, they've not really beaten, or rather they've only taken one map away from CAG in like the past year. That's a whole 365 days of going, I can't beat this team no matter what we do. I mean, we've got to revitalize CAG, we've got to revitalize Guts. It's got to be really good today from Guts if they want to take this map.
Well, let's see if Cyclops have what it takes to grab the bull by the horns here, if they have the guts for it, or will their eyes just be poked by their attempt. Cyclops is up next in the roster, of course, number one in Japan, number one in APAC North, and ever since Giants left us for APAC South, it looks like these are the ones rising up to the challenge.
They certainly have stepped up so far, but we have to have an air of caution when we talk about that, Milosh, because we've got to look at the teams they've played, and they had a reasonably easy week one against Fav, and then they followed that up with T1, who are showing us they're a side that are struggling here in APAC North and have got some growing to do. So Cyclops, so far so good, and it's easy to make mistakes against those teams, which they haven't, so I will give them the positive there, but there is yet tests to come, and this is where the difficulty multiplier starts getting added today. They're going up against big rivals in Guts, and granted, they generally seem to have positive results here, but they need to do it now when it counts. And for Cyclops, it's all about keeping that momentum before they're meeting up with those big teams. We said last Playday, I think, Milosh, that they're facing up against Cloud9 in the very final Playday, so it could well all come down to that for Cyclops, but there are certainly bigger tests ahead of them. They've been very good so far, but I just want to add that little bit of caution there, that there's still sort of more to be seen from Cyclops.
Well, despite being a monocular team, they still have both of their eyes on the prize so far, and number one. Why don't we talk about our head-to-head symptometry joke, by the way? Head-to-head. Finally, man, it took me 6 years of university education to actually use that line somewhere, so here we are. I'm happy for it. Jess, Ace, our head-to-head. You guys picked one player out of each one of these two teams, and it's Lily and Anitoon. Please, Jess, can you explain to us why these two and what is happening beyond the numbers?
Well, visually, you're going to see, especially on the side of Anitoon, it's got the Monty and the Wamaya there. Well, if you go back to last game, his roles and his operators have changed ever so slightly, so don't put too much stock in the operators that you're seeing on the screen. The reason we picked these two players is, well, last game, they were the Sledge main and they were the Roam main on defense for both of their teams, and they were both really, really high on the leaderboard for their particular respective teams. So for Lily, he's doing the job that he needs to do both as a Sledge and as a Roamer. Do I think he could be doing more? Sure, but they had positive results last week, so it's hard to tell how they'll do under pressure. Whereas for Anitoon, 1.56 ace, I'm telling you, this man is on fire.
Oh, he really is, Jess. The thing is that really interests me about Anaton, it's not just that KD, which, let's be honest, is great as well. 21 to 12, he's going fantastically, 1.56 rating. It's the plants down at the bottom. Not only is he getting in there and getting the frags, not only is he having that high cost and getting involved for his team every single round, he's also getting the diffuser down. Another man after my own heart. He's going in there and playing that objective, flipping the script and putting those defenders on the back foot repeatedly. And Anaton right now, he has been a big part of CAG. The question is, how do they play if he doesn't show up?
So you talk about Lily and Anaton as these, star players and comparing them in their squads. Who else kind of would fit that role or ancillary roles on the teams? Please, we have a bit of time before our game gets ready. By the way, for people that are thinking, yo, why are we just going the game? We're waiting for our lobby to fill up, by the way. So that's why we're here. If you'd like to blame anybody for not starting the game, usually Veli is our par for the course from what I've been hearing on the technical side. So please, who else fills those also important roles on these two squads?
I suppose rating-wise and I guess consistency-wise on the side of Guts, I'm always looking to Papillon, crazy Papillon for the full gamer tag there. And I think what has worried me a little bit, especially if you look over the past two playdays for Guts, is that there's 3 Jaeger mains on the team. You can't have 3 Jaeger mains on a team. Yes, okay, maybe they all specialize on a role on attack, but then they're all just flexing and throwing around the roaming role left, right, and center on defense. That doesn't give me a lot of confidence in their stability and cohesion and expected strategies. Maybe that comes out of Guts' brand new playstyle of they're just running at windows however they see fit. Okay, you could do that with any operator. You don't really need to fit a particular role if you want to be super aggressive. So yeah, Crazy Papillon and Lily would be the 2 players. If you're watching today's game, that I would keep a close eye on to see the kind of impact that they have.
Same question for Cyclops. If we look through the rest of the roster, it's almost difficult to start picking names out at the minute because they are going very well through the first 2 play days and everybody is chipping in. But the 2 that I would look at, if I had to look away from Anaton, would be Black Ray and would be Gatorada. They've both had, again, very good starts. I believe both of the ratings are up above 1.4. And again, it just shows the contribution and the impact that they're having, particularly impactful kills coming in from these 2. They seem to be in the right place at the right time, just when that sort of momentum of a round sits on that knife edge of which way is this going to go, bang, in comes a kill from Black Ray, in comes a kill from Gatorada, and it just propels Cyclops through the rest of the round.
Okay, well, let's see which map we're going to be playing on in this Best of One series. Remind everybody that OT rules are a thing now. If you win in regular time, you get 3 points. Oh boy. The decider is Consulate, and Guts will get the start on defense. All right, you know what? Skip the rules. You go into OT, you get 2 points if you win, 1 point if you lose. Jess, please, pick up your jaw, my friend. What's going on?
If you didn't watch the Japanese nationals, then shame on you, right? Don't miss out on these things to begin with. If you want to follow APAC North, you got to be watching the nationals, #1. If you did watch it, you're also sitting there with your jaw on the ground going, actually, Cyclops smashed Guts 7-2 on Consulate. Girl, you got to be crazy to be taking him back to this map after you got absolutely obliterated on it. I don't know what's going on. Maybe they're like, oh, we're going to watch this VOD and Counter-Strat, but when you got smashed so bad, that's got to tell you something. I don't know. I'm just saying.
There's a lot of counter-stratting to be done, that much is for sure. I think you've hit the nail on the head there, Jess. But look at the choices that they were left with. I think that this really is a Cyclops banning phase win at this point. It was Devil in the Deep Blue Sea for Guts. Do you go to Coastline, where Cyclops ran over Fav in Playday 1 and beat them 7-3, absolutely dominated? Or do you go to Consulate, where you've just got hammered 7-2? There's no good choice, is there? There is no good choice there for Guts.
Oh,
yeah, no. I don't know how this one's gonna go. So I guess the gist of it is Cyclops should probably win unless Guts have really learned their lesson in what now, under 4 days?
Yeah, like a few days, a couple of sleeps, an epiphany or two maybe. Let's hope one of those have happened.
They're definitely gonna need to have seen a win in a dream or something here that they can just, this is how we're gonna do it. This is how we're gonna break Cyclops down, because as you say, only 4 days ago they really did not have an answer here on Consulate. And yes, teams do learn quickly, and if Cyclops come out, they do need to show something a little bit different. That's what I will say. They can't necessarily just come in and rinse and repeat what they did in the national finals, but I get the feeling that Cyclops have got more to bring.
Well, our lobby is ready right on time. So, Jess, Ace, thank you so much for your information. It is time to toss it for game number 1, Guts versus Cyclops. Who do you guys think, watching at home, will be number 1 in Japan after this game? Will Cyclops retain their spot, or will Guts be able to fire back? It all goes down on Consulate, and it's Hap and Fluke to take us through it. We'll see you in game.
Thank you, Milos. And the only thing I am wondering right now is this bravery from Guts to be going to Consulate?
It's either bravery or it's stupidity, and they have about 14 rounds to prove which of those two it is. So, hey, if they have a plan, I'm excited to see it, because it's got to be a hell of a plan.
Yeah, I was going to say, because when we go back to Playday 2 as well, Cyclops faced off against T1. The map was also Consulate, and it was a 2-7. Now, of course, T1 is probably not on the same level, considering they still don't have points, but it shows that Cyclops is really comfortable on that map, especially since they also already won it from Guts. And then, you can counter-strat, but if you have Blackray just running around, killing everybody wherever he goes, I don't know how you counter-strat that. I think you just need to outgun the man if you want to be able to beat him there.
Yeah, I mean, it's always the kind of breakdown of how you see this stuff in the opening game on Coast as well. If you're thinking of what is going well for CAG right now, it's aggressive maps. Coast, only one player was off a positive KD out of the entire board, and even then it was CCC on a -1 against a team like Fav, which is a great team. It's a very, very tough kind of opponent for them. It's a very tough opposition. So it was the choice between a rock and a hard place. I think they have a little bit more of a chance on Consulate. Okay, they got beat on it not too long ago, but I still think with that, I think the decision of having it there on the best of 3 was we're better on this against them than on Coast. Let's not go to Coast. Let's not give them a kind of flat push, because where we've seen the limitations come through from Guts is not all of them have been lighting up. There's been like 1 or 2 players on the day that's been having a good day. Euro and Light having a great day on the first day, and a couple of others on the second day. So I think they have a bit more of a shot.
They could have, indeed. There's always the opportunity. Of course, they played each other 4 days ago. You can go back and watch what went wrong and see how you can adapt to it to improve. But the same goes for Cyclops. They can check and be like, all right, see, there's a weakness right here in this setup that they went for. Oh, there's a weakness right there that we can abuse. And if they manage to find more weaknesses than you manage to find solutions, then you're not going to have a good time for this next coming map. And we all know Cyclops is wanting to be the ones that fill the spots that Giants left behind. I said it before the season started. Cyclops is that one team that has a lot of potential. We expected them to be top 3 of the previous season. They didn't quite manage to make it then. Now there's an opportunity. Savior gone, Giants gone. Those were 2 teams that were always high up there. It's up to them now to fill those shoes. It's up to them now to take that spot. And by doing so, they first need to beat Guts here. And, well, they get to go to a very comfortable map. So I think they would be quite happy about that.
One of the questions I kind of have in terms of this showdown is, what are Guts going to try and bring against CAG? Because this is a Cyclops ban face, this is a Cyclops map, and sorry for the delay, we're just having a player's PC crashed, so they're just restarting it, and I'll be back in just a second. So we'll take this moment to discuss what could Guts bring to this. Now, we have to look at the 2 rounds that T1 were able to take away from them on Consulate, or take away from Cyclops, and it was down to quick plant play. It was down to getting in onto the cafe, getting into the garage, putting the diffuser down, and kind of ignoring some of the rest of the play that was going on. Okay, there was an 11-4K on one of them. There was these big plays, but at the same time, Guts traditionally, they haven't really been a big play for sight. They love to play for kills because they love to be aggro. I'm thinking if they direct that aggro towards the side a little bit more directly, they might see some more success.
That's the thing, right? Like what we've seen is both of the basement takes that T1 managed to pull off is due to the fact that there wasn't really any pressure on that side, right? You didn't have anybody in the garage. You had them in kitchen, you had them in security. Yes, long angles can be watched, but if you combine that with smokes with a quick plant and try and go for a bit of a after plant situation there, you might be finding yourself with some rounds. Now, let's see. Can we extract that to different sides? What other sides could we maybe see if fast plans happening? When you're starting top down, I don't think that the console office would be the best way to do it due to the amount of C4s that could be coming in from below.
No, 100% that's going to be the toughest one across the board. It often is for a lot of those teams that do like to focus on the objective is to get in, because it's very methodical in some ways. If you're doing the armory take, you know, you still have to set up. You have to try and get that little bit of the corner of the wall so the person playing behind the plant pot inside the site itself can get disheveled from the other side of long desk. Then you have getting across long desk itself, which for some players and some teams involves smoking it off to make sure they don't get rid of the HUD. It can be step by step. And then that's not even taking the traditional route, which is that yellow stairs push of a flash and a flood of many gizmos and gadgets being thrown through the kind of cornucopia of windows and skylight there. It's quick play pressure. And at the same time, you know, when you're looking at, okay, well, where have defenders been good on this? It's the mobility. It's the ability to kind of get around, put some aggression all over the map, and there we go. As we hop into our lovely, well, it's sort of into our studio. Let's see what you guys thought. That's probably about right.
That seems about right.
A 7-2 is actually what Cyclops got last time they were on this map.
That would somewhat translate to it, indeed.
Against Guts, it was a 7-2 on Consulate. So you guys are just, you guys have been backed up statistically by the last two Cyclops performances on this map.
Anyway, let's get into the vent phase finally. We are going to be seeing Guts on that defense first, and that means we will see the aggression that Cyclops likes to bring. And potential garage pushes, you know, that end up in very quick plants on the likes of Guts, because they will have to wait 6 rounds before they can do so. But we might see some aggression and some quick plays coming down from Cyclops after they realized how effective it was against themselves.
Well, Ying is off the board first, and that's a fair removal. It's one of those kind of troublesome ops where if you know a team is sharp, you want to blunt that as best as possible. And in the hands of someone confident, there is a huge risk and reward payoff with a great Ying player. The fastest ace, I still believe that record still stands in T1 history.
Which one?
Was the Hungry Ace with Ying?
The fastest one.
Was that the fastest?
I believe. I cannot remember one that was quick, to be fair.
Yeah, and it's off the back of the bravery of Candelas. And I think taking that out is, you know, that's kind of making the statement of, okay, we're expecting that pace, we're expecting that sort of play. Talking about expectation, they're having a bit of a think. Valkyrie is often removed again to limit the possibility of that mobility outside the building. And there she goes.
Yeah, Valkyrie is very often banned on this map. For a while, we've seen it being in tandem with a Nomad ban. However, that one seems to be less and less on the board, meaning that Nomad sees more play in Consulate than she has over the past couple of games. Question now is, of course, will she also be picked up by Cyclops? Doesn't look like it so far. Montaigne coming out, however, could be quite interesting, as Cafeteria Garage is the one that they decide to go for. And a glass. Okay, this might be indeed a attempt for a quick plant, if I'm looking at it like that. Just pop up your smokes, get the glass to cover, make sure you get the reverse shield plant in. There's options.
Yeah, if this changes to, there it is. That's what I was about to say, is if they want to do this with pace and they want to do this with a Monty, something that can open up that transportable hole much quicker. There's always the run risk of electrics being on the board. It can be countered from some play above, but at the same time, you know, if you get in there with a Maverick, you don't have to worry about it, you can get it in. I think they took a bit of a risk here. They said, well, there's no electrics on the board, there's the possibility of sixthing it out, but I don't think they're going to do it. Let's go to Ace, let's go to something a little bit different, and let's kind of flirt this idea of the Maverick forward so they think that they can't play electrics. It will work better with the rush play.
It is, right? It's a bit of a double bluff as well coming out. Just you're expecting that they will not be going for any of the electrics. But then again, even if they would float, there's the opportunity of taking piano. Or you could just quickly go for a swing from the yellow stairs and try and take the electricity out. So you are allowed to actually go for the opening. And it seems like they will be proceeding quickly through the yellow door, maybe trying to put some pressure down onto pipes, as Suzuki now waiting for the call to open up. Of course, there is still going to be an Aruni Surya laser gate right behind that one, so they will have to get rid of that, or at least toss some utility through if they want to go for the plant.
Gatorada's looking to try and apply some pressure just in piano above as they still steadily drone out. They are assuming I'm going to have them smoke off the bottom of yellow, get that glass in there, see if he can swing and apply some flat pressure across the face of it. But without some of that pressure above, it means that there's always the worry of someone swinging around from piano, putting pressure at the bottom of the stair set. There, though, is Monty starting to try and dig himself in, heads up the staircase at first, sees Euro and says, not today. The Echo drone starts popping off as they already pop those Aruni gates on the entrance to the site itself. Light, realizing they might need to start opening some angles and hold on to the ACOG. There is that smoke, and there is that smoke. Counters back the glass. They can't get the angles in the shot that they wanted. Buy some time, and Ayagator is the first off the board.
Yeah, Crazy Papillon will be able to pick up that kill. Very well played so far, but Suzuki manages to find himself in the actual site. 2 stuns already happening on one of the yokai drones. Means the second one now should be getting into position, but Suzuki already fell back. Not going for the plant right now, trying to hold back. Will be spotted out by Lily, though, as a grenade is going to be taking care. No, actually not taking care of that yokai or Lily himself. And Anata now pushing on that top floor with Gatorada, hoping to take control.
Well, the sprays come over the top of the black car as Lily gets aggro and JJ gets worse. Black Ray drops and there's Monty pressured on the stairs. Anaton falls and so does Suzuki. Suddenly, it's only Gatorada left on the second story. He's able to find 1 and 2 with a hell of a play with that very tough to control SMG. A minute on and a 3 versus 1 and a cold diffuser on the opposite side of a very big site right now. There's still an Echo on the board. I'm not sure if we've still got the drones. Is that part of our UI? Do we get that yet?
Yes, on the right top you see. Well, you see one is still in play and one is in pocket, but the pocket is Ayagator, and the drone that is in play is Suzuki. But he's of course he's trying to chop down the tree.
I meant the Echoes. Yeah, this is a team talk.
Yeah, this is a team talk indeed.
Welcome to Minecraft, is what Medix has just said. No, this is not the new Siege event. There's actually a very wonderful Siege event that's just started, and they're taking this moment to talk about things. They're reevaluating. It was 10 seconds. It's a 3 versus 2 versus 1, a triple kill for Gatorada. Can't quite get any diamonds out of the rough there, my friend. There was an Echo drone, and there's a Guts Gaming round.
Yeah, decided to eventually not go for it. Not quite sure due to okay, so Reaper, for example, he always goes a bit insane when people decide to save KD, especially when you go off a defuse plant the moment that someone runs in. And this one as well, I managed to bring it back to a 1v2. It's always worth it to just run in and try and get the kills, right? Okay, you might be losing your life, but does that really matter in the end?
I think it
just run for it.
See, okay, I guess it's always the balance of what are they doing with that time. When you have a minute, sometimes teams, as we see, like to talk, like to kind of, go, okay, well, what went wrong? What can we piece together? It's after the first round and you try to rush strategy. You tried this smoke plant. They had the Echo above, which was, if we're going to talk about the brilliance of the 6th pick between the Maverick and the bait and play, I think the read on that it was a smoke plant is a very good pick up there for the Echo. They expected fully what was going to happen. They realized it's going to be a lot of covered sightlines, so let's just spray some of those disruptive Echoes down. And there was still Echo drone standing at the end, because it's always, I know there's been so many additions to the UI, and here I am like, could there be more?
Give me also have the yokai.
I do have to use my eyes sometimes to track. This was really clean. This was the moment where it's obviously like they threw themselves at it. They had lined up a little bit, so it wasn't too much. But it was an opportunity of we're in a 5 versus 1. We know where he is. Let's just see if we can get the kill.
Really like the fact of the vigil, actually. Every single time the last shot before heading back into cover or heading, quitting the pre-fire, manages to find a head somehow. Both on the Monty and on, I believe it wasn't the ace, but on the, well, maybe it was actually the ace on the reinforced wall right there. Just able to wreak some havoc. And Cyclops not able to win that first round. Not too problematic so far, as long as they still manage to get away with 2, maybe 3. They should be in for a win here.
So
that does mean they need to worry.
Play. No, I'm just going to say they're already putting their way up Visa stairs. Yeah. I don't know if they know that Black Ray is here. The drone is giving the pings. There's the swing, and there's a free kill. And this round is kicked into overgear. Light opens a big angle. Too little, too late. Light as Black Ray finds a second and swings to the third. Heard the impact, but Gator finds JJ Lily. Stems the flow and the blood and the bleeding, but there's already so much on the floor. Now it leaves you down with a smoke, unfortunately mislabeling that canister, and this confrontation goes the way it's only the smoke left.
And it's a bit of a quicker round that we used to see from Cyclops. The aggression coming in, the kills coming in, definitely in their way. A sneak up on the Visa stairs, able to land him 2 kills basically. The Echo being a bit too late with the impact. Not able to respond to it. And after that, Cyclops bringing it up to 1-1. After a very slow round in round number 1, we have one that was almost 4 times as fast right now in round 2. But again, we see the Monty coming out. This is not an operator we really saw last time around, and we are going to Archive Stellars now.
I guess, I didn't expect it to stick. You kind of saw what else they were bringing last time. The semblance of utility, the kind of what they wanted to put behind the Monty push and plant. So I think I don't think it's the last that we've seen in the Monty. I have a feeling that they'll be back. I guess there's still a lot of smoke canisters in pocket though, if they're going Twitch smokes. What do I know?
Yep, there is definitely a lot of smokes available to them. Triple ADS and Harry Potter. All right.
Dig in.
They really don't want to be pushed from that side on. So what I was thinking, you could bring the Monty, but that would also indicate a garage push when you try and take the bottom floor, the archives, rather than, because you're very vulnerable from a C4 down below. Shield really will not protect you if one lands underneath you, meaning that a Teller's push would not be in the works for Cyclops. Now they have swapped off of him. They brought the Twitch, bringing up the F2. Great gun to play with. In the meantime, Black Ray again with some of these amazing kills, opening up the round. Basically by opening up the top floor and making sure that his team didn't have to be afraid anymore of potentially being shot from verticals.
Oh, that's a Twitch drone that Lily's just got as a freebie there, rotating back around to the site. And, well, I'll take that. Thank you very much. And now then, it's the first time that we've seen them play without the Echo so far. Realized it couldn't quite handle the pace and the pressure, so they've gone with a little bit more of a live feed on what is being applied on them with the Mozzie. It allows them to catch some of the drone gain and limit it, and there it is. There's the cost. Guts open it up this time. They were trying their drone play on the top floor, but it didn't quite have the same success as before. The calls are continuous. That is 2 of the 3 rounds, though. They've lost their Ash as the entry.
Indeed, not looking very well, and as well as the fact is that they already lost 5 drones by the start of the prep phase, basically, and now that is going to be up to 6. Only 3 remaining for 2 minutes, trying to drone everything out, trying to get some control, trying to find these picks. It's not going to be very favorable here for Cyclops. Need to rely on that gun skill if they want to be opening up. Getting a ping out now, but Anaton, the pressure is long gone as it's actually Euro trying to rotate down, able to pick up that kill. Suddenly a 5-on-3 is what's on the board here for Cyclops to work with.
Swings round to the reverse angle to see if they can catch anybody heading to the top of Visa stairs, but with a 2-body advantage, they don't need to take it. That's 1 less, though. Suzu C cuts his way across the top and starts applying some pressure on the CEO console side. Yura still dabbling around this Visa service side, peppering bullets towards the possibilities of entrances. Concern, as one of those many pocket smokes we talked about before, is popped, but Suzuki heading across that long top is a very dangerous game to play, as is the solo push currently from Black Ray happening along the bottom, entirely isolated, waiting for the response in the rotation down the yellow stairs there from the back cover, but Lily finds Gatorada in the meantime, puts it into a 4, versus 1 as Black Gray drops 2. There's not much time left for Suzuki to make some magic happen.
45 seconds indeed, and the entirety of Cyclops already got picked apart. It's only up to him now. He does carry that diffuser with him, but there's 2 members playing in the bottom floor. There's 2 playing on that top floor. Everywhere there's cover as he picks up 1. Is afraid of the push potentially coming down from Spiral, but that's not the case. It was all the way in the back of Archives, and will he be able to find him as the hatch is being watched? He gets some shots towards him, but he's not able to pick them up as of yet. Spots the head, but so far Suzuki not able to hit any of them, not able to hit any of their shots. And while the time runs out, surely this will be used as a bit of a feedback moment again of what will we do in the next round, as we are going back to Garage as Jura takes down that final kill. Guts Gaming take the lead yet again.
Well, Guts Gaming have already matched their last performance on this map against Cyclops. This is also, you know, the last team that went up against Cyclops on this map was only able to pull 3. One more round and they're already off to a much better start and overall performance. And to be honest, what I'm seeing so far is very good. They're adapting well. The pickup there and the change, as I said before, to the Mozzie over the Echo is live adaptations, is let's change up the game a little bit, let's pull back away from, you know, this kind of more stoic hold. And here again, I think they're baiting the pressure on the drones there. They're swapping it off because I think, you know, back down here, they're expecting that shield play and expecting that shield push. So the Echo worked very well last time. They had him buried inside sight. Worst case scenario, he has a gun that can start getting involved in the fight. Last time, on the other sites, in general, it's a bit tougher for him. Sure, on lobby, you can kind of bury him inside where the smoke was playing if you wanted to, but then you just have 2 kind of dead anchors locked in a single space. Here, though, you know, you have a little bit more mobility. You can bounce back around the kitchen, or if you want to rotate towards the Spiral, you have the potential of an escape, even pressure from pipes. Sometimes you'll see some Echo players lodged in and locked up there. I guess let's see if the, you know, if the adaptation, they've dropped the Monty, obviously. That's probably the biggest change here. And what are they else going to do? Or what else are they going to do? If I put the words in the right order.
I was just going to highlight the usage of Surya gates. Really like to see that. You might be thinking, all right, why don't they use 3 on that wall? Or why do they leave the middle one without a Surya gate? That's just purely due to the fact that very often the most left and the most right wall are the ones that get opened up. And by putting down a Surya right there, you force them to use extra utility, or they will be taking damage if they move through. And that will be helpful. And the middle one is often the one panel that you can cover up really well from, well, inside behind the black car, from the holes that are being made in security. Hence the reason why they leave that one without a Surya and use that 9 out of 10 times, I believe, onto the yellow door, which is often a high contest point as well.
I really like this visual play. He's buried round the back. If they wanted to play against their drone game, this is going to buy them some time. There's concern as to where he is and what angles he's holding. More drones, that's 3. One of them being a Twitch drone we've seen lost over the past 20 seconds just to this vigil on the back. They need to try and find another point of ingress. Not sure what the Echo drone is doing there. It's a, well, that's a use for an Echo drone. I think they want to give a bit more intel on the potential of a swing out there to see if there's a single body or just how much pressure there is, but it's at a bit of a cost.
I'm not so sure about why the actual drones are being used to get rid of the series. Of course, it's a way, but considering the fact that they are lacking information over the past couple of rounds, Cyclops not really doing well with the drone economy. Only have 1 drone left, no Twitch drones either, and that means that is what they will have to try and clear literally everything with in this next minute and 10 seconds to come on that board. They do, of course, have smoke grenades. They have a couple of normal grenades that will be tossed in as well, but Suzuki needs to survive first if he wants to use them.
Both Echo drones were sacrificed to look and get a peek out onto there, and Light is going to try and make amends for that. Drops Anaton on the rotation round on the bottom of the yellow stairs. Yura finds Gatorada. There's the hop out, and there it is. Revenge for the 2 fallen Echo drones caught. On the way back in, onto the breach by Gator, who is above, looking to try and pepper where that vigil once was no longer. With Black Grey holding a bit of a pinch angle here on the bottom of yellow. They need to try to find one more body. They have the potential to put themselves into a 3 versus 2, but they don't have a huge amount of utility. And now they have 1 less player. The quick swing with the English shotgun finds one, finds revenge, but it's Guts Gaming to do one step better than before and continue the pressure.
Guts really doing well so far, making sure that Cyclops is not getting too many rounds on the board. Even though Cyclops were the ones that chose attack, surely they will not be super happy with the outcome so far. They're being outplayed, and their drone game is pretty weak, I have to say. They're not able to get the information that they need. They just, send them in, they get taken out, and then they don't have anything to follow up with. Like, they throw grenades, but there's still 3 ADSs there that they weren't able to smoke out before. And because of that, you see all these drones going to waste. And now also a Mosley being brought out by JJ is going to be making that even worse.
I think it's it as well, is there was a lot of sacrificing on drones. I'm still kind of, I guess piecing together how much intel or how desperately they wanted the intel of who was outside there to send both Echo drones through the same drone hole and get them both shot. I guess it's one of those plays and one of those moments where if you're thinking this was a success before, like these players, these teams, obviously they're always going to know their gameplay and gameplay in general better than we ever will sat here. They're in the comms, they're in the moment, they know the risks that they want to take and they know why they're taking them. It led to success. But it's a bit of a bold call to take the utility that pulled the round into a success for you last time and say, yeah, we can use this for intel.
Yeah, well, I mean, if they don't have drones, then why don't you show them how to drone, right? Like, you can almost bring it like that. Yokai drone, of course, used to stop plants, but if you make sure that you use them before they even can get to plants, that could be a way to guide your fraggers to jump out and get those kills on the outside of the garage wall, basically dismantling the setup that Cyclops want to break. Look at this, right? Yeah. There's a pest underneath. They first have to destroy it. Now, Ash is probably going to use one of her charges, or she has to use a drone. So she's definitely going to lose 2 drones if she does that. So she's most likely forced to use a charge here, which then means that, for example, a shield is no longer able to be taken out.
Black Rain knows somebody's above. They're playing with the idea of frag grenades. They went for the cook last time, but this time, well, they know it's a little too late, actually. They've pulled off the pin yet again. They keep taking it out and putting it back in. Luckily, they don't loose. Otherwise, that's a very dangerous thing to put back into your pocket. But Anaton, stacked up here right by the vending machine, keeping himself cool and refreshed as he passes that intel to the rest. There's the attempt. There is most of half of the health. Black Gray's looking for the finisher with the shotgun underneath. And I guess JJ is lucky to survive. That is one of those bits where they were using the Man Mountain as that wall of intel, as that little pop of he's here, no, he's here, front of piano. There it is. JJ suffering so intently from every angle, and he somehow escapes. Yura is the first off the board. There it is. Nowhere else for the man to go.
Took him a long while, managed to survive for a long time. Xanaton now will take care of Lily. That is the smoke going to be gone, but we still have Crazy Papillon that will be moving up onto the yellow stairs. Has a potential to slow down this Executor, maybe even stop it right in its tracks as they want to go for that plant. But Aegator still upstairs with that diffuser is going to be costing a lot of time right here for the likes of Cyclops. And as we will finally drop, there is still that top floor control for the likes of Guts Gaming, which they can potentially use.
Well, there is Monty swinging around Antechamber, picking up and dropping the shield to bait the play, but look at this, Aegator is just going to stick the diffuser in the meantime. Light went for the big rotate to see if he could try and apply the pressure from above, can't quite get the angle on the man outside the doorway, and there it is. Papillon is dropped on the backside, a post-plant situation. The first time today, and Light is struggling to find anywhere that's safe. Apparently nowhere is safe. Cyclops find their second of the game, both of them on lobby. Now's the challenge. Can they do it somewhere else?
Yeah, if they manage to pick up one more round, then it is basically still a decent half. Even though we saw some questionable attacks, we saw Guts destroying them on the garage takes that they have been trying. And this is actually the time that we saw Monty coming to good use. Using it as an information piece, using it as a walk-in indestructible drone really helped them out here, especially as they have been struggling with that. And of course, then you bring it again, Anaton on that Monty. You see Black Ray playing on that Nook now has the opportunity to, go undetected. But as I say that, of course, the 6-bit comes in to himself, yeah, unfortunate. Thought we were going to see some Nook play, but not yet.
I mean, I think you have a little bit of a bias to Nook. I don't know why, though.
It's a fun operator.
Uh-huh.
it sneaks past everything. Suddenly the surprise factor is there.
Has Benelux claimed Nook?
No, we've claimed Frost.
Frost.
Actually. Yeah.
Okay, that's a bolder claim.
No, it's not even a bold one to claim.
I mean, she's Canadian.
Yeah, and Nook is not even Dutch, like Jana's Dutch.
Yeah, but it's
Come on.
closer. You know? Frost is on the other side of the world. Different continent.
True. But we do use Frost quite a lot in the Benelux League, so
Okay.
That's fine. Gamma was the one to introduce it to Tier 1, I believe.
Well, I guess Gamma has to be mentioned somewhere in Tier 1, because it's...
Yeah,
Not
they
in
don't
EU.
make it anyway, you know, like...
Guts Gaming 3-2 versus Cyclops, and they've gone with the split site. They're going to see if they can double down on what they were able to pull last time, and it started with the response of the drone game. They bought that Mozzie, they were able to try and capture and take that first frag, that first bit of momentum out of the winds and the sails of CAG. So, seems like CAG are going with a slightly different pinch push here. They're not throwing themselves in so desperately onto the top floor at first, instead digging themselves around the middle, trying to find some angle as they free up the attention beneath. They're making sure that those rotations are covered, so when those top bodies try to drop down, they don't just have an easy pick of these bodies making their way through Cafe and through the garage. Instead, it means things might be a little bit more of a damage. Harry Potter gets exploded, no ADS is there to catch that so far, but whether they're on the backside of the wall... Oh, no, did it? Did it get the shield?
I don't think... No, the shield's still up, and I'm not sure where I heard the actual explosion then,
right?
because...
No, the shield is...
No, it's destroyed.
The ADSs didn't
That's even
catch
worse.
it.
Oh, they burned it. Okay, never mind. Thank you, medics, for letting us know as the smoke cannon is now being put in. But Anaton right here is, well, the one under pressure. Somehow manages to survive in between two of those smoke cannons. This is now kind of stuck, but Black Grey will have his back. And it's only up to Crazy Papillon now in a 1v4 situation. One man coming down the Visa stairs is Dokkaebi getting off one shot with the DMR. But in the meantime, Anaton going down for that plant. 45 seconds and a 1v3 on the clock.
Wow, this was tough, and that was very well executed from Cyclops. Didn't even see Dokkaebi where she approached. I'm assuming this hatch that Barner opened maybe popped it from the opposite side. The drone hole from the outside. Oh. That's why we didn't notice it.
See, Medics is our...
Yeah, Medics is feeding the stuff.
All-seeing
Even
eye.
the stuff that Medics, I don't think, sees, just knows. Medics is
goated.
Medix is like a Cthulhu monster. Sold their soul for the ability to know everything about Siege. Cafe Garage. Even split, even half. It was, I think, some of the aggression that paid off in the hands of Guts Gaming, but now they've got to have more than ever. You're pushing on what can be a very good aggressive map. Sometimes if a team that's been quite happy to take big swathes of control of the map, as we've seen Cyclops do, think of all the rounds there on the attacks where it was a Cyclops player already in, crouch walking around, usually with Consular. Instead, what you'll see is a lot of window hold, a lot of window play. It's, you know, cited as being a map where you can take entire sites without ever entering the building. That's not how Cyclops wanted to play it. They wanted to get in, get aggro, and get their boots on the ground. That on their defense, where the ground is already theirs and they're just trying to control it, that can spell a very good attitude. And I think it's now up to Guts Gaming to kind of have a little bit of that same, you know, risk-reward mentality.
Well, talking of risks, going to that bottom floor first as Cyclops, as that's the only site you've managed to lose twice previously here in APAC North 2021, is potential risk. Let's see if they will be able to hold off the attack, the approach this time around. I do see some shields on the top of pipes. We do have, of course, have the yokais on Suzy C that will be feeding information, having a potential of cancelling out these plans if they will be a bit too quick. As Lily is getting a Twitch drone in position, that one might be able to counter some of those yokais.
Now then, let's see what they can do on a site that they're able to, well, keep it locked in their favor on both their defenses. It seems like there's the quick play and pressure here on the wall. They're not getting themselves thrown into the building just yet. It seems like they want to be all hands on the cover and the possibility of charging in. We said that this was the way that T1 were able to pull some of the rounds before. Let's see if Cyclops have learned and adapted to that. You can see the Vigil isn't too far away on yellow. Gatorada is ready as well above. They're trying to cover the swing and the possibility of someone heading up, but look at this. Sanaton's going higher up, looking to try and potentially pop out of that yellow window. There's nomads, there's air jabs, there's concern, but there's also 5 blue bodies stuck outside of this westerly front.
Slowly under drone, I believe it is actually, and that could have been quite dangerous if the jump out will come. But Light now entering Crazy Papillon as well. It means that the plant will surely follow soon. Gatorada, however, will be able to shut down one. The yokai drone will go back to the ceiling and will actually survive for a little bit as it goes down underneath the white van. And before Light manages to get it, plant, however, not coming down quite yet though, with 190 seconds left on the clock, even though they have side control.
They have a huge amount of concern. The kill frame came from Gatorada above, and Ayagator finds Yura as well. Look at this. They're just swanning their way back in, but somehow they found an angle to put the diffuser down. JJ is heavily isolated and no longer as the expected turn of events plays out. This isn't going to be an easy diffuser to cover though. Such a huge angle for Lily to try and swing on here. It's all on the opposite side, and he doesn't even get close. They went with a deep plant, went with a risk, but when the first kill comes from the body still happy and holding on to piano, it doesn't spell the best success.
It doesn't, no, but if you are with 3 people on the site and you're waiting this long to get your plan down, even though you just took out one of the yokais, that is something that should be going better, right? You want to get that plan down. You want to get yourselves back out of the building as quickly as possible, because it is just a bit of a death box that they find themselves into. And right now, Cyclops able to pick up that round straight away due to them waiting so long, giving Cyclops the opportunity to rotate back and try and take the side back. Just flood it back with your own numbers, because they did have a man advantage. So waiting too long might have costed them right here. And of course, you don't want to plan default spot, especially not if one is playing above, but you could still go in between the white van and the black car. It's easier to counter. It's easier to play up against. And it would save you a lot of time.
Well, lobby, which has been a Cyclops site so far, I guess. Let's see if that continues onto their defense. The first refusal of a post-plant situation has been played now, and it's, well, all of those plants that have gone the way of Cyclops as of yet. But obviously, that was a good quick read from Guts. They just couldn't quite get those kills that really hoped and prayed as they swung themselves in with aggression that they could, if they had found even one and kept an even body balance, especially, you know, putting pressure towards the cafe side, they might have had a little bit more confidence to try that plant between the black car and the white van. They might have even had a bit more confidence to swing aggressively. Maybe try and swing onto the pipes corridor, see if they can put anyone down from spiral. There was some soft setup, I believe, but if anything, that might buy them some comfort that they're a little bit more comfortable.
All right, see the air jabs already being put out just purely because of the jump outs. Guts is trying to cover themselves in, hoping that the aggression of Cyclops will not be coming to haunt them. Wait, did that air jab get caught by the magnet?
Yep.
But there's another magnet out there. Oh, another magnet. 2 magnets now. Are they going to be throwing even more up there, or are they realizing that they're not going to be able to get the air jabs onto the window right there, making sure that no jump outs will occur, and having those magnets right there, that might be very helpful for the playstyle that Cyclops want to play.
I think it's, you know, it's one of those adaptations where it's like they know that they're going to try and limit the aggression that they want to play, and instead of putting aggression somewhere else, they go, no, let's just counter the air jabs. Let's just put it in a situation where they're not as happy and they're not as confident with what they're doing. You can see things are being popped still steadily above. They burnt those discs, but there's another disc just after all of the flashes, just after the first 2 have been destroyed. Hanneton, this is his balcony, and he's making sure he's the only one that gets to enjoy the views up there.
And now last flashbang also used and will be tossed up into the connector window, meaning that that disc will stay there. He has repelled up now, though. Might have actually taken it out in the result and will be holding the windows himself rather than using an air jab to do so. Might be a bit more consistent in this case. But Anaton watching from the connected window, waiting for JJ to step back out, but he is going to go down for the plant in the meantime. Crazy Papillon will be able to get a kill, though they're unaware of the fact that 45 seconds are on the clock right now. They do have a man advantage, but they do not have the positions to work with.
Really great play there to be able to just find the diffuser and put it in. They cleared a tiny pocket of space and trusted it. There is the hop out, long awaited, and there is one from it, but Lily isn't playing any games, and JJ's watching for another. There it is. There's one swing, and caught from the other. 3 different angles to cover. And then, well, 4 rounds in a row. This makes it for Cyclops.
I really have to say, you can see how the air jabs, like the ones that kept on being eaten by the magnets, really helped them out there. They wanted to go for jump outs. They also realized that as soon as a plant happens, you need to be taking the challenge to the outside, especially in the place where it happens, because they are going to be around that porch. They are going to be repelled up on the windows. And you don't want to be blasted away, blasted off the roof as you go and jump out of that window. So the little play that we saw very early on in the round, the ones with the magnets being tossed out, making sure that nothing that Yura tried to shoot up there would stick, really helped him later on in the round.
Split sight for the potential of putting themselves onto map point, and well, that's, as I said before, 4 rounds in a row across both attack and defense. They found success, and they're seemingly building upon it. I know at the very start of this I said Guts might find some success if they replicate where success was found with T1, which is that sharp little push onto site, that post plant and the hold. But Cyclops have learned a lesson from how it was gone down previously. Seemingly they're aware on this. They've stepped it up obviously since the previous performance, and okay, it's fair to say they took a 7-2 during the national finals against Guts, and it just seems like Guts came in with that game plan. They came in with that idea of, let's try and do this. Let's see if we can pull some success from this. Cyclops are just winning their ones. They're winning those fast firefights back into the base.
They are now indeed, but during the start of the matchup, Guts seemed to be really strong. They were able to pick up their defenses and completely shut down Cyclops, especially on the garage. Early on in their setup, early on in their game plan, and that really hurt Cyclops. And it looked like Guts might be, the better team here today, but Cyclops able to turn it around, able to put up 3 rounds themselves on the board due to pure aggression that they managed to bring, and now find themselves onto the defense. That is a territory that they feel very comfortable at. They like to jump out, they like to go aggressive out of these windows. They just roam around like the building is theirs because it is. And that is what gives them a lot of these rounds, a lot of these frags.
Waiting to see if there's anybody playing around. Those admin buried back behind those boards, and it's Anaton. And there's Anaton. Finds Papillon for the opener. The Mozzie causing problems with the drones, stopping the entrance. And as well, just holding them off. If you wanted this kind of double up of a person and a kind of bit of utility from somebody else, Black Ray's donation of those little spiders has really played well into the hands of the man who's already very invisible. 2 drones, jiggle peeking 2 sets of windows, and yet he's still surviving, able to keep moving past them, finding new pockets of space. The 3rd body has come up into officers and printer now, and caught by Black Ray. I said he offered support with utility before. He does even more with his gun. Irrigator finds Lily. Suddenly everything is falling to bits for Guts Gaming, all focused with 4 bodies trying to find 1 man. JJ stops Gatorada at least on the swing in, but with Anaton still above, it's a very dangerous staircase to enter.
Just a dangerous door to enter as well right there. And JJ, they need to find an option somewhere. They need to find an entry, and they know it's the split side. There's an opportunity to go to archives, especially with the amount of people that are playing upstairs. You might be able to get a plant off, might get lucky in a post plant right there. And as JJ rotates around, Light still active near the visa staircase window, has an opportunity to maybe put some pressure down, make some noise, hoping that he is going to be distracting the members. Actually, JJ entering from the... Okay, that's an interesting one. Entering console office. Will be trying to clear the top floor with 35 seconds left. And the diffuser, if he dies, the round is over.
He's steadily just finding his route and his way round. There's a lot of potential for somebody to swing on and not a lot of time. There's a jiggle around a door and there's Anaton, but there's still a body up here. There it is, Black Ray. Mozzie's dug in. Light at least finds one, but no diffuser and an echo to get through. This is unfortunately in the bag for CAG. Putting themselves onto map point, finds at least a bit of an exit pad there against Black Ray, but also finds themselves with a lot of work to do.
This might be a moment where Guts would like to call out a tactical timeout. Not sure if they will, because this is actually the moment where they need to start picking things up. They had a good idea. They just weren't able to deal with the man upstairs, with the vigil that was playing, well, around the office, you know, like making sure that, okay, they know where I am. Let's relocate, get into a different corner of the office, make sure that they have to literally destroy every single cubicle in there. And still weren't able to find him. Still weren't able to get the kill down. And Cyclops now 6-on-3 managed to, even though due to a poor start on their attack, which they chose themselves, managed to bring it back. And how many rounds in a row is it now? I believe
that's 5.
4 or 5.
That's 5 rounds in a row. 2, the last 2 attacks, and then now 3 defenses. I can count.
It's 3 and 3. Yeah.
Well, either way, yeah. Map point, Cyclops, you've kind of said, I know it was between Concert and Coastline, but they're both still our map.
They like aggressive, like aggression, and they really show it. They like to jump out, they like to run around. I'm going to just keep on repeating it. That's why they brought a Nomad, but they found a solution to the Nomad. You just throw these magnets outside as they are being shot in. Right now, of course, we don't see that operator, but we do see a Jaeger and a Wamai playing. So if they would like to go for a bit of a quick-paced round, it might not really be working out. Really like, by the way, how they're putting down these Electroclaws. Will be really hard to get rid of that.
I think Electroclaw science is 90% of why people like to play Kaid.
Yeah, just trying for people.
Yeah, it's like the people who like to do trick shots, but with Kaid claws.
Yeah, just try and hide them, try and put them in the indestructible places, you know, like even if you would go from above right now, you need to find it at an angle. You cannot go straight down because it's, you know, on a box. So that is going to be keeping them still. And yes, of course, they can still get the Electroclaw that is just placed on the roof. That gets the most 2 left panels, but that means the most right panel will stay closed. And if that is going to be the case, that is not going to be the favorable position you would like to throw your Selmas at. You would like to open up right behind the white van because it gives some sense of security in trying to go for a plant, as JJ now waits to open up finally so they could hammer onto the side.
Did Lily get that drone through? We saw the first 2 get dropped, and I think they just caught that Twitch drone. It had a second of safety, but drifted a little bit too far from the smoke. I don't think they expected the smoke to just go that deep. Thought it would cover a little bit more. It was a good idea to pre-fire. They did almost get it round. The cost, unfortunately, is now, look at this, a huge upheaval as they try and put pressure above. Gatorada is playing on Anti-Chamber. He's going to put his presence and make it known as he fires towards the body that was swinging above the breach. He's going to make sure he can stick in. They still need to get above to try and get comfortable. Whether that did catch any of the close claws, there was one it did. That Sophia charge was able to get one of the claws now, and they're able to start steadily opening up from that, unless the Twitch drone had a little bit of joint success whilst we weren't watching. But either way, Anaton has built a fortress of ADS's shield and discs. They get thrown out, and he sits a little bit pretty.
Yeah, try and deal with that. There's only 2 concussions left on the likes of Light. There is 2 grenades and Crazy Papillon, and it's the Twitch drone now actually found both Electroclaws, we have to say. We'll be trying to take care of some of the chems as well, temporarily disabling it, and that will be giving them the opportunity to go for the plant. I would say if it wasn't for Anaton just executing the Euro right there on the Capitao. JJ's in, the diffuser will be dropped to Solop to Lily now in a 1v4, but he will not last. It's Cyclops that wins this game 7-3 and are going to be able to, well, basically have a flawless defensive half after a rough start on their attack.
Yeah, it was a really good intro for Guts. I think it has to be seen that we saw them step up. They seemed like they wanted to get a bit ferocious. They seemed like they wanted to put a little bit more in. And I guess technically they did. If you're saying they put a little bit more in than the last time they were on this map, they got one extra round. Since then, though, wow, that was 6 threaded in a row for Cyclops. They terrorized through on their defenses. And as I said before, kind of make it a statement. Yeah, don't take us to Consulate.
Yeah, and somehow it still survives the ban phase yet again here today. I wonder if it will the next time around, but a performance well done by Cyclops, showing why they want to be in the top 3. So far, still in there. Analysts, up to you.
Thanks so much, Stein. Yes, just a